Today's power up call. This is sparkling water, just poured into a glass for all you purists out there in the chat. Things have been going fantastically well. I've been doing some interesting things inside of some of the legions today. A few of you may have seen what I've been up to, and I have a really important message I want to share with you guys, a really important key. Before I do that real quick, the time management stuff that's coming, I've got it all outlined. All of it's ready to go. I just need to hit record, put it together for you guys, and that'll be coming out pretty soon inside of the day 2 chat. So if you're still in day 1, I haven't made it to day 2, put the work in, get there, because there's going to be some really powerful content dropping really soon. That's going to be helpful for all of you. So be paying attention to that. Also, the competition's been going pretty well. We're about halfway through the month. We've got one legion that's in the lead. We've got a few that are nipping at its heels. We'll see what happens the rest of the month. Obviously, I'm going to be pulling some levers in the back end to give everybody access to some amazing resources. But this competition's been fun. It's brought out the best in some of our best students. So it's really fun to see you guys pushing forward and achieving success inside of this competition. It's been a blast. It's been a lot of fun. Okay, so let's talk about this insight. So I spent today reviewing a significant number of student submitted copy and cold outreach, right? Really spent a lot of time breaking it all down, reading line by line what you guys are currently doing. And saw some really good stuff. I saw some really interesting stuff. I saw some stuff that had me scratching my head. There's definitely some room for improvement, but there is a key perspective I want you guys to take, because I talk with students and they're like, yeah, I've reached out to 300 people and I still have a poor response rate. And I kind of talked about this before, right? Like there are people that keep doing the same thing over and over again. And it's not just that, right? There's people that obviously know something's wrong and they try and change, but they kind of just flounder. They kind of just flounder around and well, I guess I'll have to change this or I'll have to change that, when deep down they know their stuff is broken, right? If you take a moment and look at your copy, look at your cold outreach message, look at your free value that you're sending out, look at the work you're actually sending out to your clients' readers, and ask yourself genuinely, if you were that reader, if you were that prospect, would you pay attention? Would you opt in? Would you buy? Would you click that link at the bottom of the email or in that Facebook ad? Like, pause for a second, look at your copy, look at your cold outreach, and be honest with yourself. Like, would you actually opt in if it was you on the other side? Like, think about it. A lot of times when you do this exercise, you'll realize, you know what? No, I wouldn't do it because of X, Y, and Z, which this is a very powerful exercise because it gives you power and control to actually change and to get a different outcome. Because now you can say, okay, I actually know what's wrong with my copy. I kind of knew before, but my brain was dodging and beating around the bush and wouldn't quite come to the realization. But this exercise forces you to come to terms to the goodness and honest truth about how well your stuff is going to work. Once you realize that, it gives you power because now you can change it. You can fix it. You can go in and find X and you can come up with a new solution for it. You can delete Y and you can figure out a new way to say Z in a way that actually is a positive, right? You can go through and look at these things and discover what's actually keeping you from being successful and fix it, right? It just takes some self-awareness. It takes you some time. It requires that you are willing to detach yourself from your own experience and perceive your copy through the eyes of the person that's reading it. Pretend that you are them, right? It's a simple thing. It takes like 10 seconds to do. It requires some brain calories and it's scary, right? You're going to confront your own weaknesses. And a lot of men are too scared to do that. And that's why they stay small and weak for the rest of their lives, right? It's much, much better for you to take the brave choice, stare down the errors and the problems that you're facing, the challenges, the bullets, the spears, like to just be a brave man and face it and then find a way to succeed. It's way better that you do that than continue on as a small person, never actually figuring out what's going on and being sad that you don't have the success that you've been looking for. Problems don't fix themselves. Issues, bad outreach doesn't fix itself. You have to fix it. You have to take control of the situation, take ownership for the mistakes you're seeing, and find a way to fix it, right? And the cool thing is you don't have to do this alone. I'm here, more than happy to help. There's students inside the boot camp that you're going along the boot camp with that are more than happy to help if you take the time to ask them. There are students inside of your legion, your fellow teammates in there that are working, busting their butt, trying to win a competition with you that are more than happy to help if you actually just come out and say, hey, look, here's my outreach. This is why I think it's messed up. What do you think? How can you, like, I'm trying to figure out a way to help it. What do you think I can do? There are more than enough students in here who are willing to do that for their teammates, for the other students. And for multiple reasons. One, it's going to help your team win. It's going to feel good to help someone else. And B, you're going to learn a lot more and get your own stuff's going to improve, right? It's a win for everybody involved in the campus, right? But it takes a certain level of bravery for yourself to say, you know what? I'm going to go and confront the hard truth. I'm going to figure out what's actually wrong with my stuff, and I'm going to do something about it to fix it, right? The outside world, they all live asleep. They all live asleep. They ignore problems. They stick their heads in the sand. You can't afford to do that inside of this campus. You can't afford to do that in the ultra competitive person versus person world we live in. If you want to be successful, if you want to achieve your actual potential, you have to be brave enough to face the realities and actually face the issues that you have, and then find a way to solve them. It's key. It's absolutely key, right? And that's what I always say in all these calls. And I share some perspective like this. I say it's absolutely key. It's absolutely crucial. And it's true. All of the things I've been talking about with you guys for the last 27 Power Up calls, all the lessons I share inside of the campus, they all stack on top of each other, right? And as you go through and as you watch these videos, as you go through the campus, as you go through the process, they'll slowly start stacking on top until one day it all just clicks. And you're able to push forward, and you're going to land that, those first couple big deals, and your life's going to change, right? It requires that you immerse yourself in the process, that you make the brave choice of facing the difficult situations, throwing yourself at the bleeding edge inside of your brain as you're learning a new concept, performing a new piece of work, and doing that over and over again until you break through, right? And there's a lot of students inside the campus who have done that and are currently doing that, and it's amazing and it's fun to watch and it's inspiring. And there's some students that are still working on that. For those of you who heard me talk about this sort of exercise of pausing and looking at yourself in the mirror, or looking at your copy and say, if I was the reader, would I actually buy? Like, those of you who listened to this and thought, you know what, Andrew's right. Like, there's probably an issue there. I encourage you that when I end this call here in a few minutes or a few seconds, that you actually do the exercise. You pull up your copy, your outreach, and honest to goodness, find out what's wrong with it. Pretend you are detach from yourself and imagine you're that other person, and see why. Ask yourself, why wouldn't I respond to this? Find those issues and fix them, because the problems aren't going to fix themselves, but you can fix them if you are brave enough to look for them. So look for the issues, find them, fix them, move on. That's the game. That's how you're going to progress. That's how you're going to get to what we're teaching inside this campus. And that's how you're going to start earning the money you want to earn, so you can live the kind of freedom, the kind of free life full of freedom and opportunity and abundance and happiness. It's by pushing through this difficulty right now. So I'm in the call because you all have a bunch of work to do. We've got a lot of work to do with the rest of our days. We've got new focus, new ideas, and I want you guys to make the most of it. So go out, review your stuff, be honest with yourself, brutally honest with yourself, and find solutions, and tap other people for those solutions too. And you're going to see your stuff take a massive jump forward. You're going to increase your skills, you're going to increase your abilities, and you're going to increase your results. So with that being said, we're going to end the call. I will talk to you guys again tomorrow at some point. But until then, let's go out there and let's take some money. Let's have a wonderful, positive, and productive day. I will talk to you guys again tomorrow.